Hey everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here with Painted Studios. Nice to be back on this very rainy, very chilly gosh, it's not even Thursday, it's Friday. I don't even know what day of the week it is. So we're going to kind of move in pretty quickly here. I know all of you are more interested in seeing what I'm painting than listening to me chat. So today we are working on our thermal wine tumblers. Hey Jenny, nice to see you. And I'm going to take you through all of this step by step. Most of the time you see me doing stainless steel thermal tumblers, and these work just fine. But occasionally, I go over to Target or something and they have specials. And this was like in the what was it? They have a $1, $3, $5 bin, and that's where I picked a bunch of these up. I think this was, I want to say it was $5. I don't think I ever get anything as cheap as $3, but these were like $5. And so some of them were colored, some of them had just stainless on them. I took whatever they had in the basket that I thought I could work with. And now I'm just going to peel the labels off. Hey Terry, nice to, or that's not Terry, that's Tony. Sorry, I can't see on top of everything else. I'm blind as a bat. So I'm just going to take the labels off. And, if we have some label gooiness on here, I'm going to show you how to get that off. We're just going to do the whole 9 yards. So I'm just taking something to pull the label off, the adhesive part of the label off, and then, come on. Of course, nothing wants to work that simply for me today. These are just paper, heavy paper rings around here. And then I take the lid off, put it to the side. Okay, and you don't ever want to paint these lids, because you mess with the way the rings seal up, and also you don't want to paint all the way on top of this edge here, because that will affect the way this seals. Oh, Tony, that's nice. All right, and so when we do everything, we're going to make sure we keep this area clean. If you're not able to keep that clean on your own, tape it off. So the next thing we're going to do is stick our hand in it, because this is my fanciest tool, is my hand stuck into something, and we're going to sand it. Not hard. I got to flip this down because I don't really want to watch myself. I want to watch what I'm doing. So we're going to give it a light scuff. And what I'm doing is breaking the gloss on this, because this has clearly been treated with something to get it pink like this. It's stainless steel. And then it's got a glossy coating on it, so I need to break the gloss on it so that I can apply my next layer and have it stick. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna move my iPad out of the way. I don't need that in my line of sight. I'm gonna take a little denatured alcohol, which I just put in a spray bottle. If you live in a state where you can't use denatured alcohol, use regular rubbing alcohol. Hang on a second, every time I turn around, something disappears on me. Today, it's because my son was here yesterday and he was using stuff and he moved it around. So I'm gonna just take a little piece of cheesecloth, or you can use paper towel or whatever you have on hand. Make sure you get down here. Don't worry about this. This is actually silicone, and it tends to shed paint and everything, but if you don't want to take any chances, cover it up and just tape over it. I might do that later myself. I won't do it at this stage. I don't need to. All right, so now you can see I've got it sanded. Hey Kay, nice to see you. So you can see I've taken the gloss off of it. It's not as shiny as it was. And the next thing I'm going to do is apply some paint to give me a base color for my foils. So today we are going to use, sorry about that clunk, guys. I don't have a little can of this poured out. This is Set Coat in Gravel Gray. Set Coat's a Faux Effects product. I carry this product. You can purchase it from me. I always say that because always somebody pops up into the comments and asks where I can get it. So I'll just tell you ahead of time. Ugh, I got to open that up. Okay. And I got enough paint on my lid right here, so I don't even have to pour any out. I'm going to take a brush. You can use a better brush than this. This is my beater brush that's been hanging around the studio all day. It's been used for about 17 things today. And you can paint it right on here. Now, I don't recommend doing this with just any old craft paint. You'll probably need a primer if you use those. But Set Coat has super high bonding properties that allow me to go right over this. And then once it dries, I can put foil adhesive on it and never have a pull off. It really works nicely. Now, you can see the coverage is pretty good. There's a tiny bit of pink peeking through. If I need to, I can put a second coat on here. And I tend to brush, sorry, I'm brushing out off screen. I tend to brush in the same direction that the metal was brushed on this, because these are turned and polished, and when you look at the stainless steel ones, you can usually see a direction that it was polished. Of course, with the sprayed on ones, you wouldn't see that, but this just works fine. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. That one's going to dry. Like I said, if I need to, I'll put a second coat on it. I'll close up all my paint properly so it doesn't dry out and get nasty. Set that brush aside for a sec. And then we're going to pull another one up. Now this one I painted already. This one, oh, SJ, nice to see you. And Tina, and I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but it's Ajay or Age or Age. I don't want to say it wrong, so I'm going to say it as many ways as I can come up with, and I'm probably still saying it wrong. Okay, so this one I painted with metallic black Set Coat. Did all the prep you saw before. This is the color I used, metallic black Set Coat. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I kind of set myself up a little better today than I am most days. Let's see if I can get this open, because I just had it open a second ago. I'm getting down to the very last bits in this jar, and yeah, it's getting thick. This is my Artsyville foil adhesive, and as I tell you, I usually pour off into smaller jars so that I have a little less drying. That's not what I wanted to spritz in there. This is just some water. I have a little water and sprayer. I just hit a mist of it in there. It helps re-wet that surface and make it a little easier. Hey, Desiree, nice to see you. You didn't miss too much. All right, so I'm gonna dip in here with my brush, and I am going to apply the Artsyville foil adhesive all over my surface. Now, this is really wet and runny because my brush was also really wet too. So hopefully I will not have thinned the adhesive too much to get a good bond. If I did, it's nobody's fault but my own. And I'll come work back some of the thicker adhesive into where it's a little thinner. Now, I'm used to painting stuff like this by hand. I don't sweat a lot of this. If I get it on my hand, I'm like, all right, I just got to wash my hands. I am very comfortable with doing this, but if you're not comfortable with slapping paint around like I am, and truly there are days I am slapping paint. I'm not brushing it, I'm like just throwing it on stuff. So if you're not comfortable with this, go slower than I'm going. Take your time. And then make sure you take your time to go up and around the edge. I don't want to get any adhesive on the silicone base. Not only will it not stick properly, but it'll make a mess of it later when I have to clean it up. Again, I got these cups at Target, like I said, for like $5. And they are surprisingly good, thermal. They hold the cold and the hot really nicely for inexpensive ones. You know, I'm a Yeti girl. I like my Yeti cups, but man, I like a good $5 thermal cup too. All right, let's make sure nothing drips. any extra off my brush. And just a reminder, the foil adhesive does not level. So however you apply it, there will be brush marks or sponge marks or roller marks. It will not soften. It will stay brushy or sprayed or whatever. I don't recommend spraying this. It could do some really funky stuff to your sprayer before you get it thin enough to go out of it. And then if you get it thin enough to spray, it might not, be sticky enough. All right, so we're going to set that one aside now. I've got that set up, and we'll work on that one later. Now, our foil adhesive needs to dry for, sorry, I started reading a question and lost my train of thought. These need to dry, the foil adhesive needs to dry for a minimum of an hour. The longer the better. You don't want the foil adhesive gooey, because if I use this and apply foil while it's not a good firm tack, when I peel the foil off, I won't leave foil behind. I will rip it all the way down to the bare metal. So I don't want to do that. This one, I think I put the adhesive on yesterday. Oh, Joy, you've got a couple of tumblers and you're not sure what to do with them. I completely hear you on that one. Okay, so we're going to work, let me see this. I have this little funky bit of foil that came as a sample, and I thought maybe this would be a fun one. If you want this, I have to reach out to the manufacturer and see if it's available. But the other one I would normally choose to use, but I've used it so much, is our red glitter stars. That's my go-to, but I've used it so much I just thought I'd use a little bit of this sample of red shatter that I happen to have on hand. Now, okay, sorry, I'm looking for scissors. I've moved scissors like 15 times today. Hang on. Oh, they're there. Never mind. They were hidden by something else. I think that might tell you I have a few piles of crap laying around here. Okay. So this foil adhesive has been on here since yesterday. And for those not familiar with Artsyville foil adhesive, this stuff will stay sticky forever. You could come back in a year and this will still be sticky, which of course means that after we apply the foil, it has to be sealed one way or another. And we'll get into that later. So we're going to put a little of this. And I'm just going to kind of, whoops, I don't want to do that. I'm going to wrap it a little bit. I'm going to wrap it around. I obviously don't have every spot covered, but this is going to give me a good start. And I'd rather have missed a spot up here because I have plans for that section of the cup. And the first thing I'm doing is clearly I'm rubbing it with my hands. The heat helps to warm the foil, and the foil releases better if it's a little bit warm. If you're having trouble with release and you've got it on wrapped up like this, take a hairdryer on a low setting and just kind of blow it on there, warm it up a little bit, and before you peel it off. That will often help. Foils are originally designed to be used with heat, so if you're having trouble with release, a little extra heat can help. We used to have more trouble. I never have trouble with releases with Jennifer's foil adhesive, the Artsyville foil adhesive. I used to have a lot more trouble with release before that one came on the market, which is why I carry it and recommend it to everyone. All right, so we've got this all wrapped. I'm going to peel it back. And we got our red shatter on there. Now, I do need to put another piece on here because there are spots that I missed. And this will fill in any of the little gaps that might have come through. Just take this and get the last little bit on here. Now, for those who not, again, those not familiar with foils, foils have a pretty side and a not pretty side. The pretty side shows you what the release is going to look like. The not pretty side is the side you put to the glue. And this helps you remember which side to put down, because if it's not the side you want to see, it should be sticking down to the glue. This is mounted, the pattern and the metallization is mounted on a very, very thin carrier film. And the thinner the film, the more flexible it is and the easier it is to rub over something like this. And I can take my scrub brush, and I'm not scrubbing hard because I don't want to scratch the foil that I've already applied. I just want to fill it in a little bit. And you can see from where I'm peeling it off that there were some missed spots and some gaps. And I just used the foil to fill it in. So now we have this wonderful dimensional look. But if you look at this from the side, you can indeed see the brush marks. So the reason I used red under here is I didn't want any black showing. I wanted this to be really, really red because I'm a Christmas gal and I really wanted a red, and I wanted almost to make this look like a Santa hat. So I had some fun ideas. And that's where we're going next, if I can find where I put all my stuff that I set aside. Now, I could foil this. I could just leave this as it is and pour epoxy on it. I could put stencils, I could put cutouts, I could write Merry Christmas, which is what we're going to eventually have on here. It's going to eventually say Merry Christmas. But I need to get this top part done first. So here's my adhesive brush. I'm going to try not to knock everything over on my table. So I'm going to take a little foil adhesive on my brush, and I'm going to come up here and do this. And really what I'm trying to do is, give the image of a little snow. Just a little, think of royal icing on a candy house. That's what I was trying to come up with. Think of a little, I was working for my descriptor and I was struggling, so thank you for your patience. All right, so you can see I've got some foil adhesive all over this. Now, if I wanted to, I could let this dry and do this, but I think I mentioned yesterday when we were doing or the other day when we were doing some of the little houses, that when I want to coat something really heavily with glitter or with mica flakes, I use the adhesive on there while it's wet because I can then shove more stuff into it and it grabs better. If I wait until this is dry, I get a sheerer coating of glitter and stuff. And for some reason, I'm playing with this zipper here and I'm just not getting this bag open, and I cannot for my life figure out which way is open and closed. It's like it's sealing it and then unsealing it and then resealing it no matter which way I do it. I think I got the weirdest bag ever. I give up. We're not playing with this anymore. I'm done. I've had this bag forever, so God only knows why I'm having so much trouble. So this color is called Natural. It has a bit of a pearly look to it. This is some of the micas that we carry. So, but as you can see, it's clear with a little bit of pearl to it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to sprinkle some mica on here. What grabs is what grabs. What doesn't grab will go back in the bag. I really don't want the big flakes because they're a little awkward for this. The little ones are much better. Okay, so I'm going to take that, grab whatever's loose here, throw it on a couple spots. And then I sort of tap it down. Let me twist my cup because I missed a spot right there. Let's see if I can get some finer mica. Kind of go down to the bottom of the bag because the little stuff settles at the bottom. I could also, just crunch this up myself and make it smaller, but sometimes I need the bigger flakes, so I don't want to do that. So already that's starting to look pretty cool, but I'm clearly not going to get 100% opaque coverage on there, and that's where glitter comes in. This is actually our glitter. I used an old Martha Stewart glitter jar, but this is our white, our clear polyester glitter. I just kept the jar because I like the sprinkle cap. And I'm going to dust the rest of this. All right. Come on. And you see I'm pouring generously because I'm going to come back and sort of tap it down. Again, I got to make sure that nothing's going up over the lip because I don't want to compromise the seal for the lid when it comes to that time. And I like to go around a couple times just to make sure I didn't miss any spots. Tap it down a little more. You got to blow off the loose stuff because otherwise it's going to come off anyway. But already, look how pretty that is. And then I'm going to do Merry Christmas in silver, and then we're going to epoxy this. But right now, this is going to go sit and dry, because nothing happens until everything's dry. Clean this mess up out of my way a little bit just so I can do that. We're gonna flip the camera up. Sorry for my hand in front of it, everybody. All right, let's see if I've got any questions that I need to answer. Desiree, I got the tumblers at Target. Right in, when you go in there, Target has the $1-3-5 bins. I found them there. They have them all over Target, and sometimes they're usually like $9.99, but these just happen. They must have been last of some lot, so they were $5, and that was a great deal. Let's see. Okay, it's great having you all here, and there's so many of you. Thank you so much. All right, I think that pretty much answered. I answered the only written question. However, if you have any questions while you're watching this, please post in the comments below. I see all the comments. I answer the questions. I'm here for you. And of course, if you're a little shy and you're not comfortable asking questions in front of other people, do not hesitate to send us a message and I'll answer for you. All right, everybody, it is 4:30 on a Friday. I got some work to do before I go home tonight, but I think I'm just going to try to keep it to one video today. I was going a little crazy with 2 and 3 videos a day earlier this week. All right, everybody, have a great Friday. Sprinkle the video, sprinkle the love. Be prepared because contest time starts next week. All right, everybody, have a good one. Bye-bye.